Memory loss and brain health are huge concerns as we get older, especially as we occasionally forget things like, what was his name? Or where did I put my keys? But sometimes these episodes are part of a more serious issue, like Alzheimer's or other issues affecting the brain. Dr. Joel Peterman, a neuropsychologist at Providence, Swedish Center for Healthy Aging, joins me now. I'm so excited to talk to you about this. Let's first talk about the difference between Alzheimer's disease and dementia and other normal age-related memory issues.
It's a great question. So first of all, dementia is broadly kind of the umbrella term for what we see when an individual is experiencing cognitive changes that are to such a degree that it starts to impact their ability to take care of activities of daily living. So managing finances, taking medications, making appointments. And so dementia is really what we see a person doing. Alzheimer's disease fits underneath that umbrella as one of the causes of dementia. So there can be different reasons as to why a person might be showing cognitive decline. Alzheimer's being a neurodegenerative disorder that is most common, but we can also see an individual develop dementia due to multiple strokes, other sorts of neurodegenerative processes like Lewy Body dementia or frontotemporal dementia. So
I'm actually really glad that you explained that, because I think a lot of folks think Alzheimer's becomes dementia, or dementia is, so it's great to know that if someone's coming into you, it may not be exactly what they think.
Exactly.
So what symptoms should we start to be concerned with? Is it kind of like what I call the why did I come into this room scenario, which just happens to me every day. But that I know becomes more serious. Like, when is the time that we should start to be concerned?
Yeah, so, we all can experience cognitive errors in our daily life. Why did I walk into that room? What is the name of that actor? The dreaded question, what did I do this past weekend? The time when we should start to be concerned is either when we start to notice that this is happening at a greater frequency than we would expect for ourselves, or if family or people that are close to us express concern of, I'm noticing you search for words more often, or, we had plans to meet up for dinner and you forgot to meet me there. So really it's kind of increased frequency, and with that increased frequency, less of an ability to adjust.
And it's important to remember not to be defensive, because it's hard to be defensive, not to be. So what are some tests or diagnostic methods that you use to determine what a patient is experiencing?
Yeah, so as a neuropsychologist, I use what we call kind of normative tests of cognitive function. What I mean by that is the tests have been administered to people across the lifespan. So we're going to compare an individual to other individuals of their age, and in certain instances, age and educational background. So I kind of tell people we aren't comparing apples to oranges, but we're comparing Honeycrisp apples to Gala apples.
That's great.
So
that's a really great way of saying it, because it's true. Not everyone has the same level of cognitive function in a good place.
Exactly.
So, okay, let's talk about other things. You have, what does neuroimaging of the brain show?
Yeah, so additionally in the neuropsychological testing, an individual might be referred for neuroimaging, such as like an MRI of the brain. That really looks at the structure, both of gray matter as well as white matter in the brain, and kind of can give indication of whether there is a neurodegenerative process or strokes or changes in kind of the cerebrovascular function of the brain.
So in that MRI, they'll be able to tell if someone has had a stroke or has had a few. Okay. I know Swedish is really on the forefront of research and treatment. What are some of the treatments and therapies available now?
Yeah, so unfortunately there is not a cure yet for dementia. However, there are certainly things that we can do to help compensate for our cognitive challenges. So one of the things that we offer is what we call cognitive rehabilitation. So helping an individual use the strengths that they still have to compensate for areas where they may have greater challenge. For memory, writing things down, creating almost like a memory organizer. I call it kind of our external hard drive. So keeping all important information that we might need with us in a portable manner, so that if we're out and about, we can add it into this memory organizer and hopefully then follow through on whatever task it was that we had agreed to.
No, that's so important. Tell us about Providence Swedish's Center for Health and Aging.
Yeah, it's a great center. So we work with individuals who are concerned about cognitive changes. We also, ancillary to that, have the Women's Brain Health Clinic, because we know that women are at a higher risk for Alzheimer's disease and transition to dementia. And so it's about kind of addressing it before it can become an issue.
So great. It's been a pleasure chatting with you. Thank you so much for taking the time to talk with us this morning. And to find out more about age-related issues, go online to the Center for Healthy Aging at Providence Swedish, and there's a website right there on your screen.
This portion of New Day Northwest is sponsored by Providence Swedish.